this is my previous website. This is my blog. I got to a point where I wanted to replace it because it was WordPress, and of course you need to update it a lot because WordPress. And so I decided to rewrite it as a simple one-page application. Of course you need to, I don't write HTML anymore, so I used a static site analyzer, of a static site generator called Hugo that nicely turns my markdown into HTML. Then of course a web server source needs to be added, so all the cool guys are at Nginx right now, so I added Nginx because it's nice and fast to serve my one-page application. Because my thought-provoking thoughts were going to be on the website, I wanted to be nice and secure, so I added Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt is free, it's easy to show up, so it's easy to set up, so that was the sweet spot for my laziness, so I added Let's Encrypt. Of course, Docker, that's where the world goes. I expected my blog to be /dotted every day now because of my brilliant ideas as well I was going to produce. I've never produced a blog post in the last 4 years, but this was the time I was going to produce them because Docker doesn't scale on its own, so you need to have some form of ingress that will scale to you and send traffic to your Docker instances. I've chosen to use Traffic, which integrates nicely with Console. But Console is a service discovery tool, so I don't have to do manual admin, because again, sweet spot for my laziness. So you write services, Console nicely announces your new service or your new thing, so friends don't let friends use Kubernetes. So I opted for Nomad, which is the HashiCorp scheduler. It's very cool. It's a single Go binary. Integrates very nicely. At that point, I started to think there's quite a few technologies already, so let's puppetize this stuff. I started writing Puppet code. I, in the process, inherited a couple of Puppet modules to actually maintain. It needs to run somewhere. I happen to have a prepaid reserved instance at Amazon, so that's why all my stuff is running right now. So it's a single node, and of course it needs to be, it's on the internet, so it needs some form of DNS. I'm not going to run my own DNS server, so I opted for the Amazon Route 53, which is a nice DNS server. So of course it's cloud. So again, I don't want to do clicky in interfaces, so I terraformed the whole thing. So I terraformed my AWS, I terraformed my Route 53. It's nice in Git. Of course, the image you get is bloatware, so I built my own image. I reduced it so much that it's a small image, but it does include my console and my Puppet. At that point, I had a lot of stuff that needed building, so I'm again, sweet spot for my laziness, so I'll rather have Jenkins build all this stuff as soon as I push, because I forget to build after a push. So Jenkins will actually build and deploy whatever I give it. My blog is going to be so important that people are going to try and hack me. So all my servers are now protected by YubiKey, which is basically two-factor authentication thing that I need to have physically in my laptop. Otherwise, I cannot log into my node. It's going to be so important, so I want to have some metrics about stuff that shows up, for the people that show up, when they show up, so Prometheus got added, I want metrics. Luckily, all the HashiCorp stuff integrates nicely with Prometheus, so, but metrics on its own don't mean nothing, so it's somewhere on a disk, so I added Grafana, so I can nicely have little graphs that can basically show myself about how cool and how busy my blog is. Again, graphs are nice, but I want to be notified when stuff goes down, so I added Alertmanager, which is another Prometheus-related tool. Alertmanager will, based on metrics, can tell me when stuff is wrong or when my blog is so important that when people show up, I need to scale. Alertmanager needs to send it to somewhere, so Slack got added. It's free. It's where all the hipsters are, so I added Slack. Yes, and turns out Pingdom is still my only visitors. So it should have been a GitHub pages page and be done with it. But it was amazingly fun to go down the rabbit hole and see how far I could get. And again, it's a single page, single markdown page. And this is how stupid you can go. Thank you.